the business segment, sports segment, and of course the entertainment segment. And now we're back for our discussion segment this morning. Right, well, if you're just joining me, my name is Rose Yusuf, and this morning we're going to be talking about redesigning the school curriculum. And when we talk about school, we're talking about the secondary school, probably the primary school, the secondary school. Now, we all know that the primary and secondary school makes up the basic, or rather the foundation for one's education. Once you miss it at the secondary school level, then it's going to be hard for one to actually get it all together again. Now, for some time, we're looking at the school curriculum because the schools will soon resume, and we're going to look at if the curriculum they have now, it's still, or let me say the curriculum we're having, the curriculum we have now, is it still relevant? Do we need to change it? Or are there some changes that need to be made? Are there some new things that should be brought into the curriculum? And then are there some things that probably should be taken out of the curriculum? Now, in most schools, when we probably go around, we get to see that sometimes what we studied in school as well time, and probably what some of studies in school at that time, we also went through the same we use the same curriculum, and we can also see that in some schools here in Nigeria, the same curriculum still it's still the same curriculum they are maintaining. Now, is it that we don't have new things, we don't have new technologies, we don't have new subjects, or we don't have other things that could be brought into the curriculum? Because we know that times are changing, things are changing, technology is setting in, you have so many things that are happening in our society right now. So is the school curriculum still very relevant at this time, or are there some changes we really need to make this morning? So, or rather, in the school curriculum. So, this morning we're going to be talking about that with some educationists that came through from AgTech Academy this morning. We once had them a few weeks back. We talked about the school. We still talked about education the last time they came here. So we thought it wise to bring them up this morning to also talk about the school curriculum, since they are into the education system, and they know the what's going on, and they know all that needs to be done pertaining the school curriculum and education as a whole. So myself and Diko, my co-host, will definitely take them through this interview up till about 8 a.m. So I'll just say, Mr. Wale Owolabi, thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for coming once again. And of course, Mr. Adeniyi Ayandoye. I remember the last time you told me that you prefer being called Mr. Adeniyi. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeniyi, for coming through this morning.
Thank you.
Well, how's the rain though? It's been a wet morning here in Kaduna.
Yes, no doubt. This is the rainy season, so
yes. Well, thank you for taking our time to come here despite the rain and all of that.
Thank you.
So, like I said earlier, we're looking at redesigning the school curriculum. First of all, let me start with Mr. Wale. I would also get your view on this, Mr. Adeniyi. Is there a need for the school curriculum, talking about secondary school in particular, is there a need for it to be redesigned? Is there a need for us to have, an overhaul of the school curriculum, secondary school?
Thank you very much. I think the secondary school curriculum, just like the primary school is the foundation.
Yeah.
Now the secondary school curriculum, has to build on the primary school curriculum. So I don't think there is any need for us to redesign the curriculum, because the curriculum, first of all, what is even curriculum first in the first place? So curriculum is the totality of what should be included in any learning experience. Now, for a good curriculum, they must have the content, we must have the scope, the content structure, and objective of that curriculum. So once these things are not there, then that is not a good curriculum. So for you to have a good curriculum, you must have all these contents in the curriculum. So for me, the secondary curriculum is still okay. There's no need for us to really change the curriculum. For now, it's okay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Adeniyi.
Yes, as he rightly said. But personally, I have my reservations about the multiple subjects that are in the curriculum. Right now, in secondary school, there are 16 subjects. About 16 subjects.
In the whole of secondary school, from just 1 to SS3?
At least from junior secondary school. From GS1 to GS3 is about 16 subjects. You understand me now? That is overloading the brain. Because whatever is in the curriculum is transferring to the brain of the student.
Yeah.
when the curriculum is being designed, I'm sorry, most of the people who are in charge of designing the curriculum, they are professors. They don't know the number of subjects they study in secondary school that make them excel. Right? A student brought a parent brought the sort of a student of his child who is one of the government colleges. I saw 16 subjects, GS1. Right? There's need to reduce the load. Right? You see, the brain capacity, law of diminishing return, we tell on the brain capacity. If you have too many subjects, you understand me now? In as much we are trying to really spread the knowledge of the student to accommodate so many subjects. At the same time, we must be very careful to see that the curriculum is not overloaded. Because when you overload the curriculum, indirectly you are overloading the brain of the student. That's my own observation personally about it.
Okay.
Right? Otherwise, there's nothing wrong precisely, but there are too many subjects. Right?
All right, but in each of these subjects, do you think probably there are some things that probably are not necessary? Because I think last week while we were talking about this with Tope, behind the cameras, and I was saying that growing up, back then in secondary school, in biology, we were made to draw grasshoppers, we were made to draw, some of these things. And I asked him, I was like, okay, now that I finished drawing all those things, did I use them? Probably because I'm not in the science, plays and all of that. But are some of these things actually quite necessary? Or do you think that probably there are some things, looking at where we are right now, 2019, I'm talking about far back as 2007, 2006, thereabouts, I don't know, some things that probably should be rejigged, in the whole, looking at some of the subjects going on.
Yes, I actually, in the family science subject, physics, chemistry, biology, right? No, you see, nothing should be done, to delete or reduce. But there are some foreign subjects like French, for example.
Yeah.
You understand me now? We bring French, some school we bring some other languages, into technology, even with school that don't have facility for into tech to be very practical. But many schools they have into tech as subject. There's no facility for digital tech. These are the areas where the subjects your necessary subjects are coming in. Right? If your knowledge is physics, chemistry, biology is very sound, that is the foundation for technology. You understand me now? But in attempt to say that we want these students to be having an idea of technology, we bring it to technology. Some school there's no teacher to even teach into technology, but it will be there. There's no facility to demonstrate into technology. It will be there as a subject. You understand me now? These are the areas I feel that it should be actually be addressed. Like intro tech, French, all this should be removed. Let the student have some knowledge of physics, chemistry, biology. That is foundation for technology. You understand me now?
Yeah.
Simple.
So for you, it could still remain, the way it is.
Of course.
As long as you have enough facility
to go with that. You understand me now?
Yeah.
Then and the time management, right? You see, it is easy for people to sit down and draw curriculum. We that have been in the classroom, right? I think I've taught for over 20-something years before I become head of schools and so on. Time management is very important. If you have too many subjects, the time there is not there, right? To really meet up this subject, right? Is that clear? Yes. So this is the problem. You see, when many things are easily said and done. You understand me now? As we are preparing a program, you see, with all the schools that I've been heading, I used to define the scheme, the curriculum, and prepare my own scheme of work that is suitable and practically possible to be applied within these circumstances. That's why the students are catching up. You understand me now? But unfortunately, many schools, they will just say, this is the curriculum. They don't know how to modify it. They don't know how to redefine it. They give to the teachers. And most of the teachers, they will manage it anyhow.
So what you are basically saying is you need a modification of the curriculum.
Of the curriculum in such a way that each school should be able to manage it reasonably.
Okay.
Of course, the author of the curriculum, most of that they used to say it, that it's left for the each school to organize the curriculum reasonably, how to suit them. But unfortunately, many schools, unless private school where the seriousness is the something. But if in public school, they will just give the curriculum to the teachers. The principal will go and sit down in his office, welcoming visitors.
All right, Mr. Wale, he talked about scheme of work, for the school. Now, let's know let's know what the difference between the curriculum and the scheme of work, because probably a parent might say, is it not the same thing? And then looking at the 13 weeks at average of a term, on average you have about 13 weeks in a term. Is that actually enough to cover the whole, scheme of work, or what is being brought in, in the whole curriculum?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the difference between curriculum and the scheme of work, just like I said, the curriculum is the totality of what should be taught in any learning experience. While the scheme of work is what should be taught by that day, the lesson that's supposed to be taken every day. That is the scheme of work, and it has to go along with the curriculum. You understand me now?
Yeah.
So it has to go. So there shouldn't be any difference between the scheme of work and the curriculum. They have to go together.
So the scheme of work is gotten from the
yes,
curriculum?
Yes, from the curriculum.
Okay.
That is it. So that is what we are saying about.
Okay, so but is the 13 weeks, enough to actually cover the work? Because sometimes you find out that in a term, probably the teacher will just say, we have like 2 or 3 more topics to cover. How are we going to do about this? And we really need to cover it because I've probably already set exams, that would go through all of this.
Yeah, that is why the scheme of work is necessary, and it has to be followed to the letter, because every day you prepare your scheme of work.
But
and
doesn't
each
it have
topic,
to do with how the children actually absorb this? If the children doesn't understand it.
Once you plan your time, it's time management. Once you're able to plan your time and goes along with the curriculum, the scheme of work, then you're able to cover the whole subject in a term. So it depends on your time management, how you manage your time. That is it.
Sorry, if I may come in here. The scheme of work is the breaking down of what will be taught. Curriculum is bulk.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
The scheme of work will divide topics week by week that will cover the 13 weeks. You understand me now?
Sure.
So that is the each of at the beginning of the term we prepare calendar. We know how many weeks each term will. So the scheme of work will define in each subject, right? The topic for each week that will lead to that 13 weeks until we lead to the examination period.
Okay.
So there's no, anyway, I'm talking in terms of the way I manage my own school.
Yeah.
You understand me now?
Not everybody is going to be.
We don't jump any
Subjects.
And of course, if any school principal is well experienced, it should be able to manage the curriculum when it's the scheme that to be covered within the limited time. You understand?
Okay, so you talked about Mr. Adeniyi, you talked about some people, probably professors, preparing the curriculum. Would you have preferred that the curriculum be prepared or be done by sets of probably those who are actually involved in secondary school education? Probably that would be better. Would you have preferred that?
Yes, it is preferable. In as much as I have due respect for the professors, right? Most of them, they have been away from the secondary school level for long. You understand? During their days, my senior brothers and when they in secondary school, I think the subject is maximum of 9. You understand me now? That is maximum of 9 subjects, and they are real concrete subjects that
I'll probably cover some of these subjects that have been added.
You understand me now? So even up to 80s, early 80s, during our time, the maximum subject you can register in WAEC is 9 subjects. You understand me now? So that is what they passed through. In their primary school, it was 4 subjects, and they will come out very strong: mathematics, English, science, and civic education. Then, right? And by the time by the secondary school leaver then, What he knew now, many graduates don't know it. Because subjects are not many. The relevant subjects are done seriously, and they cover it very practically. When I was in Form 3, I used to write articles in the paper. Daily Schedule used to publish my article and Nigerian Tribune. And I was in Form 3. You understand?
Yeah.
So, but now, even school, graduates cannot even fill form. And if you ask how many subjects trust graduates did in secondary schools, about 16.
16 subjects, which is
So,
should be able to cover.
you understand me now?
If you are going to do 16
So,
subjects.
It's not about the amount of subjects.
in fact, it's a problem. It's a problem. That's why I said the professors who are actually in charge of this thing, they knew how many subjects they study that make them excel. Why are they bringing too many subjects now? Now, you see, now we have underage children in school.
Students, yes.
Then they are mature students. As mature as they are both in age and psychological maturity, they limited the number of subjects. But now we have underage children in school. You now increase the number of subjects. It's not reasonable. Right? In as much as the education say a child should start primary one at the age of 6. Many children are there now in many schools. By 5 they are there. And if you don't promote, the parents will insist that the children finish. And the same parents, by the time before they reach primary 6, they'll be hustling that they want the child to go to secondary school. You understand me now? So that it's coming at the end of the day, a child that does 14 is in the university. He doesn't even know why it's in the university. You understand me now? So there are a lot of things that actually surround the problem of education in Nigeria. Right?
Okay. All right, Mr. Wale, let's look at Nigerian, education system. Probably the curriculum once again. Now you have some secondary schools, so probably the owners are coming from US. The owners are coming from probably UK. They come here, bring up, secondary schools, and then sometimes they bring their own curriculum to teach here. Now, is that actually practicable? Because sometimes you find a difference when somebody of probably a government school or a private school here in Nigeria, Nigerian-based and Nigeria-owned secondary school, with somebody who went to a secondary school that is owned by an American or owned by a British person or from any other place in the world. When they stand, you get to see that probably what is being taught in the secondary school of a foreign owner will be probably quite different from what is being taught. So can you say we are probably on the same level, or there's a very huge difference? Or you see that is there probably a gap between these two? Because at the end of the day, they are all private schools. They come here and they're allowed to get their own schools, and you find children with different coming out. This one will come and say, I studied a different subject because I went to this school. And then you come back to a Nigerian school, you can't find such subjects here. So do you think there's the difference there? Do you think it's affecting us?
I think there is different. Because you cannot compare our own educational system with the foreign system. They are two different things. One, the culture is different.
Yeah.
The environment is also different. You understand? So you cannot bring what is being practiced there to our own environment here. Is contradiction. In fact, it's a deceptive to bring a foreign culture, foreign curriculum to our own curriculum here, because they are two different things. You cannot bring their culture, their curriculum, and come and implement it here to not work because of the environment. Our children here, they are brought up. You understand? A child that is still battling to understand English at the primary level, you want to bring a foreign culture to come and implement it, it's not possible to not understand it. But there the foreign language, there, you understand, they are brought up, in fact, the environment enough, you understand, is even enough to teach the children because of what they see. But here is different. You understand? So you cannot bring a foreign curriculum to implement it to not work. They are two different things.
Mr. Adeniyi, let's have your view on this.
Yes, I am aware of the fact that some private school, they even advertise we use British curriculum.
Yeah.
You understand? Sure. You understand? It's not as if it's bad, but as I've said, right, educating a child, there are a lot of factors to be considered. Now, you see, along the line, some of the private school that advertise British curriculum is on deception. You understand me now? Some are lucky to have children from academic homes. You understand me now? Children from academic home, right? They can respond to any method of teaching. You understand me now? But there are not many. There are many pupils, many students. They don't speak English outside the school. In fact, after closing the school, that's the end of academic works. You understand me now? How do you bring a British curriculum to teach such students? The British curriculum is that's what is obtainable now. What we are about to be operating now, even in our tech academy, is what we call 21st century curriculum. And of course, 21st century curriculum, that's what is obtainable in the international world. But at the same time, you see, there should be prudency the way we apply it here. The children over there, my research showed that more than 85% of European and American children, they are beneficiary of what we call genetical mathematical equation in biological engineering. What does that mean? If your father or your grandfather was highly intelligent, brilliant, and the child has equal number of genes with that man, he will be as intelligent as that man right from the age of 3 or 4. So the level of intelligent 4 years old child can communicate over there, and the level of what he can understand is far different from our children here. 2, their culture, they are brought up to face reality. A 5 years old British or American child, he knows why he should listen in the class without using cane. He says, if I don't listen, I'm going to fail. But our own children, even 30 years old child, doesn't even know why he's in school. If you don't bring a cane, it's hard. It's a problem. Can you see the difference? Like the British curriculum is learner center, not teacher center. The old method has been teacher center, but their own curriculum is learner center. The teacher will just come to the class. We have mathematics topic, shapes, right? Then the teacher will allow the pupils, we ask them questions, and they will be responding. You understand me now? But our own children, they are not intelligent, they are not even sensitive to academic things like that. Immediately they close from the school, that's the end.
So where do you think this problem is coming from?
The problem is that an attempt to really lift foreign curriculum suddenly, in order to popularize your school or advertise your school, right? Without considering the factors that make it work, is a problem. And it's a big problem. Right, and that's what is affecting the curriculum. Right, now a child of 7 years, 8 years in Europe and America, they know everything about computer, they can of technology, they can practically dismantle some things. You understand me now? Because of their environment.
Right, so we've just been signaled to round up. We have lots and lots of problems in the
education
system.
Yes.
And if we don't get the education system right, then every other sector is being affected.
It'll be wrong.
Definitely affected. Right, well, I think this is the much you can take. But before we go, just in 1 or 2 sentences, what for you now, Mr. Adeniyi, you feel the curriculum is okay? Probably just
the management,
reduce the number of subjects that would go along with.
Yes.
All right, so probably in a sentence or two, because I have been told to round up already. Let's start with you, Mr. Wale. What do you think is the way forward with our curriculum in school?
I think the way forward is the basic subjects should be taught thoroughly, and then our teachers should be knowledgeable enough. You understand? Because once a teacher is knowledgeable, he will be able to impart the knowledge into the children. So the basic thing is the teachers now. Should be knowledgeable enough, should be able to master their subjects.
Yes, as he rightly said, that I agree with him. No matter the curriculum, if the teacher is not knowledgeable, the whole thing cannot work. Teachers to improve their knowledge, love for knowledge should replace love for certificate. So many people have a certificate now, they cannot. The knowledge is almost zero. There's no way you can teach curriculum without knowledge.
Right, our viewers, will say thank you so much for staying with us. At the end of the day, I think is all on your own school. You know how you manage your school, how you get to manage that curriculum to make sure that it suits your the kids. You know, in the school, it suits the students. You know, at the end of the day, for them to actually be able to absorb all of what is taught. But as school resumes, hopefully we get to see that technology is being used. We get to see that more of the physical. What's the word right now? You know, more of the students going out there to actually see some of these things by themselves, and you know, being able to do these things by themselves. It's not just about the theoretical work, you know, in school. All right. Well. For us here, this is where we wrap it up this morning. Up next will be the news at 8, and of course, other programs will definitely be coming up on Liberty Television. Well, thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Rose Yusuf.